Hi, I'm Albert Bright, and today we're gonna talk about the ocean and about the sustainability. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Albert. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Linda Sue Dingel. I am from the United States, and I am a scuba diver and a worldwide traveler.
Want to ask you one question that can be very valuable and interesting. And what kind of change have you seen over the 23 years you have been a scuba diver?
I've seen numerous changes in the ocean over 23 years of diving worldwide. One of them is the causes and effects of pollution. And there's multiple reasons why there's pollution. There's development. Oftentimes development has fertilizers and chemicals as a part of that, which end up running off into the ocean. And those chemicals that run off into the ocean then, blanket the coral reef. The coral reef dies off. It's what we call bleaching. So coral reef is bleached. It's not vibrant. There's no fish that can live there anymore. So the coral reef dies. It is part of the food chain and the cycle of life, and it affects many other species and animal and marine life that depend on that healthy reef in the ocean to survive. So it's a chain effect.
So you can actually, when you're scuba diving, you actually can see the difference that were like 10 or 20 years ago.
Yes.
And you can see even when you dive today, and you can see that what happens actually. Like I do scuba diving, but just a couple of times. So, for example, what we can explain, what actually we see when we go down, and what the difference we see.
A healthy coral reef will be colorful. It will have multiple different types of coral species, soft corals, hard corals. There'll be all different types of marine species there, small little fish to bigger fish. What ends up happening over time is those reefs die off and they become bleached. So now it's just not colorful anymore. There's no fish that can live there anymore. It ends up looking like rubble or rocks almost, and people often look at it and think, well, is this a coral reef? Well, this is just rocks. No, it's not. It's actually a dead reef.
What can we do then? Like every person, what can they do to save the ocean and save the reef?
Something that everyone can do is think about your impact. Whatever you're doing in your life, how is that going to impact the ocean? Your day-to-day choices on restaurants that you choose to support. What are the packaging options that they use for to-go containers? Can you reduce your use of styrofoam containers? Can you ask for your to-go packaging that's not in a styrofoam container? Perhaps something that's in a recycled container. Can you bring your own containers to the restaurant and use your own Tupperware to take your to-go food home with?
Yeah, so it is like we can do the small steps. So even if we will take a cup with us, of course not in restaurants, but sometimes in restaurants, but we can even take with us, and not to use the plastic, but even to use the cup to drink water. So we will actually make a step, and that will in the future, in the long run, it will help to make sustainability, and it will affect ocean actually.
Oftentimes to get to these oceans, to the coral reefs and to these places where they have wonderful marine life that you want to go snorkel with, taking your own water bottle on location. In these hotels that you'll be staying at, most likely they have water coolers that you can just refill your own water bottle, so you don't have to use single-use plastic containers. You're not using single-use plastic bottles. You're refilling your own water containers. You are not using plastic bags. You are taking your own bags to the grocery store. you're taking your own reusable shopping bag, so you're
Yeah.
not using
Yes.
more plastic bags. You can't always guarantee that whatever it is that you use or utilize gets put into the right container. Even if you're recycling it or you're using it again, it's better not to use it in the first place.
All right, so even then, it's the second step. It's when we go to a shop, it's better to have an extra pocket, but not to buy it, for example, to take it from the shop actually, yeah? So it's better, because sometimes people think that they come and if they'll take an extra pocket, that another people can think something bad and that they can think that they cannot afford to buy or they're greedy about buying one, like, I don't know, because in other countries it is like for free you can take, but in other countries you just need to pay.
Right.
And yeah, so it means that it's better to have like extra something that you can bring with yourself to Walmart, I don't know, and yeah.
Even when you're traveling on location, if you in your suitcase, you could probably take your own, recycle-friendly bag with you. So when you're going shopping for the day or go to the beach to the day, you don't have to use plastic bags when you're there. Think about ordering drinks and don't ask for the straw. Say no straw, please. Reduce the number of straws that you use. That you don't want them to be on the sand, on the beach, in the waterways, in the ocean. So think about not using those products.
This is very efficient. So even the small things that can help the world, I would say, and the ocean. Because even these plastic bags affect the ocean, yeah, because it comes like from the waste probably, or
What ends up happening is there's a plastic bag taken from the grocery store, for example, goes to your home, and you say, oh, well, I'm going to use it again. Even I'm going to take the groceries home. I used it once. I'm now going to use it in my garbage, and I'll reuse that bag again. Then you take your trash out. Well, then what happens to that plastic bag? It ends up in a landfill, or it ends up somehow maybe into a garbage truck. But can you really, or you say you're going to recycle that bag, and you put it in the recycle bin that gets taken out to the street, but can you really guarantee that recycle bag, that plastic bag gets put into the garbage? And then how many times have you seen a garbage truck drive away and things fly out of the garbage truck? Okay, so now it's in the street, and now it blows away and it ends up in a water stream, or it ends up in the storm drain, which ends up directly into the ocean. Okay, and now that plastic bag, which you thought you were recycling, which you thought was going to be put in a proper receptacle that would be reduced and recycled, ends up in the waterway, and then now a turtle thinks that it's a jellyfish and goes to eat the plastic bag.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So sometimes like fish can eat that plastic bag.
In fact, there's there's two places in the ocean. One is in the Pacific, where the two currents meet. Out in the Pacific, it's called the Pacific Garbage Patch.
Oh, wow.
It is literally the size of Texas.
Oh, really?
Yes,
So big.
and it is where the two currents meet in the ocean. And what has happened is, this is where all these things, anything that gets thrown into the ocean, most of it is plastic. A lot of it is plastic. But these things, from the sun start to break down, and now these pieces of plastic that were bigger and larger get broken down into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, and now you have maybe one plastic bag or one plastic item that's now hundreds of or thousands of little tiny pieces. And from what I understand, I have been told, and I have seen pictures of colleagues of mine that have been there to examine this, it's like diving in a snow globe. Like a toy that you shake up and you see all the snow. If you put a mask on and you look in the water, it's like swimming in a snow globe. There are that many pieces, and it's the size of the state of Texas. It is huge, huge. And there's another Caribbean garbage patch as well. So there's one in the Pacific Ocean, and there's one in the Caribbean Ocean, in the Atlantic, in the Caribbean side.
So that it means that small steps can save the world, because we don't know actually about like most people don't know about that there's like a Caribbean Atlantic, of course, and that even like taking extra bag with you and taking extra cup with you may save our world.
Differences.
Okay.
Big differences. The smallest things, not accepting straws, plastic straws, you know, saying no straw in your drink, taking a recyclable bag with you wherever you go, bringing your own cup with you, and using that water-friendly bottle, so you're not using single-use plastic containers. Reducing the number of single-use plastic items is key.
Thank you, Linda. I think that that video and that information that we have from Linda will just open your eyes to something, and we try to save the world with the small steps. Even like just 2 small steps can save our world. So hope you get some new stuff, and thank you that you was watching our video, and put likes if you like that video and if you want to see more. And yeah, thank you, Linda.
Albert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when it's time to buy that new car, are you thinking about the electronic one? Are you thinking about the electric car?